Hello, how's everybody doing? I know, it's been a minute. This is how old I'm getting now. It's just took me 5 minutes to get 4 cans of this apart. They're gluing them together now. I suppose it's in aid of saving dolphins or turtles or whatever, but I'm all for that. But you know, when I've got in on a Friday night and I've not made a YouTube video for months, and I have to faff to get things set up, and we'll talk about that as well. We'll talk about setting up and a setup that's going to get set up behind you very soon. But yeah, I just want to grab a can. I just nearly lacerated my fingers trying to get them apart. I'm like, well, how the fuck does this work? How's this work? I'm now at that age where anything different is an absolute ball ache, and I don't want to know. So, as the vicar said to the actress, strap yourself in, because it's going to be a long one. That was funny as fuck because I just all spurted up there. I did have to do a Swifty edit because I was having to inhale lager. Oh, let's just go and get a brew, go and get a drink, because I've got some mansplaining to do. Oh, dear me. It's been a long time since I've had one of those, and very tasty it was too. So no plan, no great reason to be here, no no great stories to tell, although I might remember some, and it's just going to be a thought bubble off the top of my neck, as usual, just to say hello really, and yeah, keep me finger in this pie. There are many reasons. Some are very valid reasons, and some not so valid reasons that for my hiatus, and then my coming back, and then my hiatus, and then my coming back, and then my hiatus, and then there's a pattern. And if you've been around, you know, this channel that long, you'll know. If you've not been around this channel that long and you've only just found me, hello, I'm Darren, and I'm fucking retarded. Video games is something that I've been into since the early 80s, since the advent of the home micro, and now at 54 years old, there's pretty much nothing I haven't had or experienced and then sold on again. So it's a crazy train here. I've always said that. Welcome to the crazy train. And you know, it's a constant cycle. Myself and one other well-known YouTuber we're inflicted with the same disease, which is that if we're not using it, we're selling it. And I've never made any apologies for it. It is a thing, and there are more of you like us out there. I know there are but they don't necessarily upload to YouTube. But you're out there. I know you are. So in this particular phase of the journey that I've been on now for, Raz will tell you. You know, if I put a number on it, Raz will correct me anyway. He always does. No, you've not been around that long. It's got to be 12 years, hasn't it, Raz? No, it's 9 years, whatever. It's a long time. It's years, right? It's been years, and I've come and gone, and always, I've never been away. I've always sort of, if I've not been uploading, even if I've deleted a channel, I've still, you know, watched everybody else, and I've seen others come and go, and I've seen people on this journey that we've all been on, or that are fresh to it, or that are still on it, and all the permutations of where they're at any particular time. I can see where people are in the journey that I've taken. I can tell them pretty much by, you know, when they're going to start to thin things down. You know, that's the thing, innit? You get into the collecting. You want to collect for a particular system, you collect for that, and then you see somebody else collecting for another system, and you think, I'd like to collect for that. and then the disease gets you. It's under your skin, and off you go, and you fill your house with stuff. Because you're now a collector. So I came into this as a gamer, and I've always been a gamer. It just took me this long to understand and realise that. And I think that's why I chop and change a lot, because I've always wanted to experience things, especially things that I didn't even have back in the day. Just a couple of consoles off the top of my head. PS2, I never had PS2. I totally missed out that generation, I've said before. And PC Engine, never had PC Engine because, you know, it wasn't that popular in this country. Not in my circles anyway. But now I've sort of experienced those things, and here we are. Now you're going to hear some clanking and some noise, and there may be some disruption, because we now have 2 cats again. I say again because we only had 1 cat previously, but we now have 2 cats, and they're about 8 months old now, and they're in a terror stage. Especially Eddie, who's the boy cat. He's a unit. He is now £9 at 8 months old. And TC was £8.5 at a full-grown cat. So Eddie's going to start throwing me around the house soon. He's an absolute fucking lunatic. And then there's Star, who I call Baby Bean. She's a lot smaller. But they're both into everything. They're going to be in here at some stage, I'm sure, because they can hear me talking, so they're going to come and see what's happening. So that's a new thing, a massive thing as well. I had to grieve for a while for TC. I'm still wearing his collar on my wrist. And he's still very much in our hearts and our thoughts. But these two have brought the joy back to the house. They do say, there's a saying that some people say, that when you lose a pet, that you'll have the grieving process, and then that past pet, in a spiritual way, will send you some new companions, animal companions, when you're ready for them. And I don't know whether that's true or not, but we felt ready. It had been 2 years, and you know, we felt that we were ready, and that we could give a cat a good home here anyway. I've even built a catio. In the summer you're going to see that probably, I'll show it you. So it's basically turned the patio into an enclosure, because these 2 guys, they're going to be house cats, but I wanted them to have some fresh air and some sun. So they've got a 13-foot by 10-foot by 10-foot enclosure outside. So they can go out the cat flap, they can be outside if they want, they can be inside. But the main reason is they're safe. You know, I didn't want them roaming about, because the cars in this area and all kinds of other shit that they can get into. So they're technically indoors, but they're kind of indoors outdoors cats, if you know what I mean. So what's been going on? Well, not much gaming, it has to be said. I've had a really good break from gaming, and I've got into all sorts of other stuff again. My model cars I've got into. I've kind of got a little bit into helicopters. Not full-size ones, but the RC helicopters. And I've been doing a bit of tinkering here and there. The most recent gaming sort of purchases I've done, I was going in again. I was going in. So bought I'd still got my Japanese Mega Drive. I sold a lot of the stuff off. Saturn went, PlayStation went, apart from the PS4, which is still here, because the PS4 is basically a modern Saturn as far as I'm concerned, as is the Switch. It's not going to turn off in 5 minutes. This is a recent purchase as well. I'll just show that. But yeah, so PS4 is still here. JTAG's still here. The Wii is still running all this emulation, which is nothing I want to talk about. The Wii I bought from Woodland 37 donkeys years ago for 50 quid, and has a full set of everything in it. It's still going strong, and you know, that's really made me think recently. I basically spent a few days playing on that and just going through. Here's one of the cats. I don't know if she's going to make an appearance. Going through the library and just realising that I already own everything. And I can play it if I want to. I don't necessarily have to own the physical thing. And when I do own the physical thing, especially nowadays, it's a lot of money to invest. And what it does do is it restricts my spend on other things. And so it becomes for sale, you know. Now, over the years, that's been a good thing, because things have been appreciating a lot, you know, from when I very first started to collect. Things have appreciated massively, especially on, you know, aforementioned consoles. and every time I've bought and sold, I've made a profit. So you know, I've been able to generate more than I had. Whereas now, I can see that prices have stabilised and have dropped as well, especially on this console here that I'm going to show you in a second. But so that I was kind of went in for a few big hitters. I thought I'm just going to go for the ones that I like, the ones that I know I'm going to play, and get them, you know, get them in first. So bought a system, got those games, and then very quickly realised that I was playing this more because it's set up and they're all in there and it's so easy. Because we've got limited time, it's just so easy to walk into here, switch that on, and it's there, and I've got full sets of everything in there, you know. I mean, I generally only play Shadow Dancer anyway. If you know me, you know that very well. But and shooters. But the fact that it's there, it means I've already got it, and I kind of had a word with myself. I was like, "You're doing it again. What are you doing this for? Why are you doing this? It's nice to have it. I get all that, and it's nice to have the collections. But if I'm not a collector as such, it's always." I didn't have buyer's regret with stuff, and I don't regret the journey that I've been on at all. And if you're new here, you've not seen any of that because I deleted my original channel, which is, I've said before, one of the main regrets in my life. I should have just left it alone. I should have left it up there. It's, you know, 8 or 9 years worth of content just gone, and that's a long time to be making content. There's a lot of hours there filming videos, editing them, uploading them, just to wipe them out. But hey ho, you know, it is what it is at the end of the day. I did do it, you know, several times. And as I say, it is what it is. So playing around with the Wii for a while, I'm thinking to myself, I don't actually need any of this stuff. And although, because I've already got it, I can play it. I can play the games, and that's really what I never get. I never have regret from spending time playing the games. I might have regret from buying them all, you know, especially because it's not a bottomless pit. You know, there's only so much money going around, especially these days. There's a credit crunch on. Do you not know? And so to have everything is, I feel, for me personally, I can't justify it. Like I say, it's gonna impact on other things I might want to do. There's still things I want to do, you know, still things I want to experience, I want to own. The difference being that I'm not going to want to own everything all at once. That's one thing. I have a disease where, you know, once I've got one thing, it's not enough. I need another thing, and then I need some more things, and then more things. And you can fill your house with stuff, you know. You can fill your house with things. I have got a VHS collection over here, which has been sort of bubbling up. But again, I've restricted that to just 4 shelves over there on the wall, and you know, it fits. And I sit here and I either watch a VHS while I'm, you know, fiddling about with a console or something over here, and you know, it's nice to do that. It relaxes me. It's chill time, or you know, I can sit and play some games. And behind you, I intend to set up another CRT stroke. Could be a flat panel with OSSC, because I have got OSSC again, so I don't know how that's going to go. Looking at the price of CRTs, especially big ones, they're good for silly money. I might drop on something, you know, quite local and cheap. That's what I'm waiting for. I'm not just going to steam in and unload a load of cash over there, but it will be emulation, but it'll be EverDrive running through you know, actual hardware. And the reason for that is this. So, and there is a story behind this as well, and it's one hell of a story. And if I can find the pictures within my phone to show you what this originally looked like, I will do. But we'll do that first. In fact, no, let me just show you this quickly, and then we can crack on, can't we? So, as I said, I think PS4 and Switch are basically, you know, the modern version of an old console. Any old thing you want, you can have. And first cat on the channel in all these years. This is baby Beanie. Hello, Bean. Now, we call her Star because of Ziggy Stardust, basically. I feel that her face being sort of, you know, one side made up and one side not, it looks like Ziggy Stardust, so we call her Star. She's a little girly girl. She's my little sweetheart, aren't you? Our brother is here also now. He's over here and he's the wrecking ball. We should have called him fucking Katy Perry. Shouldn't we? It's lovely to have them back in the house. It really is. They've brought the joy back to the house. It's wonderful having them. Beanie she just sleeps with me all night. She's really my little girl, and yeah, she's so attentive and caring and nurturing. She's lovely. But Eddie's a bit, you know, we're having a little bit of a who's the alpha in the house at the minute, and it's him. Unfortunately, it's him. I'm covered in scars and scratches, and he does like his rough and tumble, but he sleeps with me as well. There's not a lot of room left, and in the bed, is there, Eddie? And when he has his moments, he'll give me a cuddle now and again, but it's got to be on his terms. It's that. Anyway, he's over there. Don't know if he's going to come and talk to you. So this is the Psycho collection. So some of my favourites on here. So we've got Gunbird and Gunbird 2. Love those games. Played them a lot. And we've got others which I've not played. Looking at this, actually, it seemed bloody, it seemed foreign. What is it? Well, all the English is on the top, and then underneath each, this the screenshots on the back for all the games. But I just thought Psycho Collection Volume 2. Now, obviously there'll be a Volume 1, and I'm not sure if there's any more volumes, but they're a good collection of games. To buy them individually for Saturn, or because we've got Gunbird, I say is my favourite out of those two. Gunbird 2, obviously Dreamcast game. But we've also got Gun Barrage, which I believe may be in the Gun series, the Gunbird series, but I've never played that one, I don't know. Sengoku Cannon, Samurai Aces Episode 3, and Tanjay or Tangai, Samurai Aces Episode 2, Samurai Aces Episode 1. So yeah, good few shooters in there, and still sealed is Batsugun, because that's my favourite Saturn shooter. So I saw that it was coming out on the PS4. Saturn had gone, although I do have still a load of gold discs. And Saturn may appear again over here, but I'll be running a pseudo Saturn. I won't be buying the games. I'll just be getting them so I can play them, yeah, for free. And now that's fell on the floor and smashed. So that's cost me, hasn't it? But yeah, like I say, you can. Modern systems will play retro games, and they play them really well, you know. Aha! He has turned up. So here we go. And the second cat on the channel is Eddie. Eddie, hello. What are we doing? Now Eddie, because he's got a black chin. See, he's got a black chin. Eddie's called Eddie because of Blackbeard, right? So he's got a black beard, this cat. And we call him that because Edward Teach is the real name for Blackbeard. So I wanted a cool name. Eddie's a cool name, isn't it? I wish I were called Eddie. Eddie's a cool name. And as I say, he's got a black beard, so yeah, that's Eddie. And they'll probably both be appearing, you know, at some stage on the video. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that little animal section. So well, great to have them back. It really is good to have them back. Cut jump. Oh, nice light cut jump. We like them, don't we? Means I can get another tin in. Bit of a swap around. So yeah, Batsugun. I don't know if that's going to have a thing on it or not, and a track sequence. And Soldier Blade. Awesome. PC Engine's fucking so good. Now, I'm really happy with the way that the Wii emulates the PC Engine. It looks really nice on that Sony Trinitron. As I say, I do intend to set up behind you there a corner unit, and I don't know whether to go for a widescreen CRT because I'm going to have original Xbox under there. That's still in the loft, so never got rid of the original Xbox, basically because it's worth fuck all. I traded in a few systems. CEX will give you 40 quid for an OG system with a controller, and I'd got like 3 or 4 that I ended up buying for like fucking bastard. Oh, this room's going to end up stinking of beer. So just by cutting them, just hanging up, putting them to one side and cutting them plastic things off, it's fucking shook all my beer up. Anyway, where we're at, yeah. I don't know, Xbox in corner. I'm thinking about a widescreen CRT, and having that set up there because Xbox is still in the loft. Oh, it proper threw me, that fucker. I'll still keep this little CRT for my videos because it's a combo, and I think playing it on a small screen as well is a lot more nostalgia for me. If I can't find a decent widescreen one, I might even put another one, maybe go a little bit bigger, maybe 21 inch or something like that over here. Although will the height, the difference in the two TVs irk me? Probably. I can pick another one of them up, but I've already got one. So anyway, see what I mean? I'm going all in again. I'm all in again. So yeah, this is just going to start the game, innit? If I press start. Where are we? Yeah, it's just going to start the game. I mean, we have got a bit of an attract sequence. Anyway, I've totally lost my train of thought now. Sorry about that, but yeah, what was happening with that? So yeah, Xbox, original Xbox. What I'm going to do, I think, because I've got the JTAG still for all the shooters, which is another reason why I might go OSSC and a flat panel over here, because I can rotate it and I can have a vertical setup. Those of you that know me well know that I've bought. I basically was inspired by someone on YouTube who built his own Blast City cabinet. It's like a 3/4 Blast City, and I thought about doing the same thing, and I may even still do the same thing with Astro City. So I've imported from America a full set of Astro City decals, so the side decals, the marquee, the panel, the play panel, and basically everything. And the idea is to make like I'd say a 3/4. It'd be a full width panel, although it's only a one player panel I've got. Shimizu Sanwa going on for the controls, and then mount a vertical flat panel. The problem with that is that you're stuck then with the vertical. That may go here. So if I put the CRT in that corner with another CRT, or I may even just put that CRT over there, I could put that here. That could be mounted here, and this height is just about right. So the idea would be to start with the panel and build the panel first, because I did have the idea of going for basically the twin Saturn stick, but we're talking 600-700 quid for them, and they're all yellow and all the rest of it. So I thought, well, I'll just build my fucking own. I can do that. I've done it before with the 1UP stuff. So yeah, maybe that. So that is a little bit of a project that'll keep me tinkering, you know, keep me from spending money on games that I already own. and artwork as well. Artwork is going to be the way forward, because you think about it, you buy a box for the artwork, don't you? You buy the box for the artwork and the manual and all the rest of it. So if you want to look at the artwork, I would suspect that probably making a canvas from that artwork is probably the way to go. Just saying, for me anyway, for me. If you're a fan of the artwork, buy the artwork. You don't need the game. Now I don't want this to sound anti-collector at all, because some of my best friends on YouTube are collectors, and that's for them. It's just took me a while to realise that I'm not a collector. I've been sucked into collecting through YouTube, and there's a few reasons for that as well. We'll just touch on this briefly. So I believe that for me personally, and you may agree with this, you may disagree with this. Everyone has their own specific journey on YouTube, and for me, I started this channel to interact with you guys, to meet people, which I have done, and to make good friends, which I have done. And I would encourage anybody and everybody out there who wants to do that, because yeah, and it is a different landscape now. I will agree, it's a different landscape. Things are slightly different. Certain people are on here with their own agendas. you know, money's involved, and that will bring out the worst in people. All you've got to do is play Monopoly with someone to realise how fucking cutthroat and greedy they are. I've always said that about Monopoly. It really brings out the worst in people. Brings out the capitalist in you, and that is a thing as well. And I'm all for, you know, just live and let live, baby. I'm on vitamin D now. You know, vitamin D, D3 and K2. I'm chill as fuck. It's great. Who knew? Vitamins were good for you. But as I say, that is a thing that it is out. It is a thing, and a lot of people complain about that, and they've got good reason to. But I kind of just look at it as, meh, it's a thing. You know, I'm not going to let it affect me. I'm not going to let it worry my mental health. They'll do their thing, and I'll do my thing. And someone who I talk to quite regularly has always said to me, you do you. You do you, and fuck everybody else. You know, and it'll not take you a lot of hard thinking to realise who that is. He basically speaks his mind all the time and always has. And, you know, that's what he needs to do. It's a good brother of mine. Anyway, I'm not going to start sucking him off. Not again anyway, not after last time. So, yeah, I've lost my tangent again, haven't I? Fucking twat. Why do you even watch this bollocks? Well, even less of you watch this now. I used to say I make this for the 100. Yeah, but what you'll find is if you start your channel, then shut it down, start it, shut it down, start it, shut it down, people won't subscribe because they don't like the ride. A lot of people don't like roller coasters. I realised that. So how to fuck over your 1,000 plus subs in 3 years? I could write a book on that. So what are we at now? 50 or something. You know, and but like Craig said the other day, I would throw a shout out to Minx. Craig's nice to see his room there evolve and him sort of, yeah, happy with what he's got and happy with his shit. And he said something really nice the other day. I've not heard this ever, I don't think, on YouTube. And he said, you're not fucking bothered about who watches it or, you know, chasing the subs and all that kind of stuff. He says, I'm not asked about that. You know, in fact, I would hate for my channel to grow that big. You know, and there are a few YouTubers that I've seen start small and blow up, and are very much in that camp. They're saying I couldn't be doing with the grief. There's that many people giving me shit. You know, so the smaller channels where it's at, don't sub to this channel. I want to keep it small. Maybe not as small as it is, but you know what I'm saying. So, yeah, as long as I started out making these videos for the lads that I subscribe to, and that's all I'm going to do moving forward. These videos are going to be for those lads, and you know who you are. And if anyone else joins, great, happy. Hello, how are you doing? But these videos are for the community as I see it, the people that I interact with. That's what these videos are for. And if that makes you feel on the outside, then comment and let me know, and you know, we'll strike up a conversation. And I'm totally approachable, you know, unless I'm in a really bad mood, which seems to be most of the time these days. Anyway, it's going to be a real rambly one, this, but you know that. You know, you come here for the ramblation, don't you? You come here for the ramblage. A lot of people don't realise as well, because I've been away for a long time and that, I actually gave birth to quite a lot of the sayings, quite a lot of the catchphrases on YouTube. No one said fucking idge at all until I started coining things. So I'd say, you know, for boxers and stuff like that. Oh, I found that as well as that I bought for the PS4. It's the Klonoa collection. So you've got Daughter Phantomile and Klonoa 2 on there, which Daughter Phantomile is one of my all-time favourite PS1 games. And I would encourage anyone to play it. It's a great game. And I never played Klonoa 2. I did have it briefly for the PS2, but didn't get time to sink any time into it. But there's a collection for the PS4. It's fucking... It's a powerhouse for retro. You don't need systems. Just... They're clever though, aren't they? They're hooked into it. They are. They're clever. They're hooked into it. So I said sort of thumbage, didn't I? So if that had got a manual, which I haven't got because it's a modern game, shite, I'd be saying, look at that. Look at that manual. Never seen a thumbage. You know, people say idge now. That's me. That's me, that. I did that. I've left my print on the tubes. I was the first person to iron a fucking box. I'm telling you now, I was. I was the first person to iron a fucking box. You're welcome. You're fucking welcome. It was me. I was the first lunatic to iron a box and realise that you could get it flatter. Not Tootie. No. And he'll tell you, it was me. You're very welcome. Yeah, fucking hell. I've on my gravestone. Darren ironed the first boxers on YouTube. Oh dear. Anyway. Again, totally lost my train of thought now. I'm enjoying this. It's good. I've not done this for ages, so please excuse me if I'm enjoying it, even if you're not. You're long gone by now, anyway. If you're not one of my people, you're long gone. So what have I said so far? What am I doing? Whittled everything down. Basically, no physical media. Ooh, controversial, because that's how it's going anyway, isn't it? I do like to have the physical media, but for the older systems, I think EverDrive is going to be the way to go. I want the systems, and I have sold off my boxed systems. I had the 16-bit stuff, so Mega Drive and Super Nintendo, Japanese and American. I've sold them off, sold the box systems off. Oh, that's it. I was going to tell you about this, wasn't I? So here, this purple brick, I'll talk about that. So, I'd got the Mega Drive, I'd got a few games left over, obviously Shadow Dancer and a sprinkling of Shinobi, Streets of Rage, etc. Right? So I was still playing them through that system. And I thought, well, what I'll do is I'll sell the boxed one and just buy a loose one, and I still intend to do that. So I've not got a Mega Drive at the minute, I'm embarrassed to say. But I've got all the games. I've got all the games. It's the pad though. So the Wii, I've still got your controller, Stuart. So I'm using the classic controller, the Wii Classic controller. And it does fit, it's more of a Super Nintendo clone though. And the Mega Drive controller has a very definite feel to it. And obviously with the 3 buttons, it's a very different thing. And when I'm playing Shadow Dancer, I really need that 3-button controller because my thumb's dialed in. It's like muscle memory, my thumb's dialed into that position now. So I'll hit my ninjutsu when I don't need it, you know what I mean? The buttons are wrong. So it's got to be an original system and a pad. Having said that, this one will probably get an 8-bit do or 8-bit do. I'm not sure how you pronounce that. Somebody educate me. Is it do or do? I did have an argument with two. It wasn't an argument. It was a deep spiritual conversation regarding Galaga. So this Galaga nonsense is just apparently it's a Japanese thing. It comes from the Japanese pronunciation of Galaga. It's like a galaxy thing, galaxy. Because I said, all right then, if you're going to call it Galaga, then you might as well call Galaxian Galaxian. You're not going to do that, are you? You're not. It's Galaga and Galaxian. Maybe it's a Yorkshire thing, or an English thing, a British thing. I do not know, but it's Galaga. It is Galaga, and trying to get my ear to hear Galaga, it's never going to happen. I'm not going to do it. It's not happening. It's not in my universe. In my current universe, it's Galaga, and I don't care what anybody says. Fucking Galaga. Piss off with your Galaga. I don't care. It's Galaga and always will be. Anyway, we didn't have an argument. It was kind of a funny. I find it really funny, and Tootie puts up a good strong argument for it. And yeah, I have to lean towards that and say, okay, maybe we've all been pronouncing it wrong for 40 years. But, you know, when you're used to doing something for that long, it's hard to change, isn't it? It's difficult. I'm playing around with the rubber. Look, that's what they stick cans together with. That's what they're sticking cans together with. That's what we've come to. Might have to go on to the Kraken next. Should we fire up some Kraken? Do like a Kraken and Coke. Yeah, lost it again. Wait. Oh, I'm talking about the system. Story, that's it. It's like a Billy Connolly concert. Only not as funny. So, Super Nintendo. So I sold off my box systems, and I was surfing the eBay like you do. Now, American Super Nintendos, they're good. They go for good cash. They're 100 quid plus. And even for an unboxed system, you're looking at thick end of 100 quid, so maybe 70, 80 quid if you're lucky. And I was browsing eBay one day and I came across one for 50 quid. £50, buy it now. And it was the worst looking console you've ever seen in your life. It looked like it had been at the bottom of the North Sea for 3 months. It was absolutely horrendous. I don't know if you've ever bought 8-bit micro stuff, but the plastics on the 8-bit micro stuff, I can hear doors opening and closing and hello, it's the cats. The 8-bit micro stuff, if you were to wrap the cables around a computer and put it away, in time they will leave grooves in the plastic. The two dissimilar plastics react to each other and it looks like you've melted it. It will actually melt the plastic of the computer, not the cable. It tends to melt it. It's obviously a chemical reaction. I mean, my job is rubber, you know. I am an elastomeric engineer. But so I deal with rubber and I know how things can react to each other. There's certain rubbers that we can't post-cure together because they'll burst into flames and create CF gas. And if you know what that is, yeah, you're in trouble because that's going to melt your lungs if you breathe that fucking shit in. Anyway, so yeah, I got this system just looked like it had cable stretched across it because there were big grooves in it. And if, like I say, if I've got the picture, which I think I probably have because I've put it on, I've changed my phone recently. This is a new phone, so I may have lost it. But if I found it, I'll put it up here. But it was the most disgusting American Super Nintendo you've ever seen in your life. It looked like it got moss growing on it. It was horrendous. But the listing said that it was fully working. Now, this is where this comes in. So if you frequent AliExpress or Temu or any of these like Chinese cheapo sites, there's some pretty good bargains on there, has to be said. I've just bought an RC helicopter that in this country would cost you 120 quid, and I've had it delivered, bought it and delivered it for £46. So, you know, if I'm going to start playing with helicopters, I want a small, cheap one first that I can crash and not, you know, be pulling my hair out, not that I've got in it, that I've just crashed my helicopter. I want the Airwolf one, which is like it's the scale of it's this big, and when you fire it up, it sounds like the real thing. It's incredible, but that's a lot of money. So I don't want to crash that one. What I want to do is get a little one that I can practice with, get the hang of it, and then buy that. Watch this space. Probably won't happen, but I'll probably play with this a couple of times and then throw it away, and yeah, that'll be that. But I've just flown it today at work actually. It's a little helicopter I bought inside. My managing director, he's into his RC, like, so he's like, bring it in, we'll fly it in the factory. So I just did, and my bumhole was going like, I was flying it around at certain equipment in the factory and certain electronics and stuff. I was like, yeah, this is, because it's pretty fast, even though it's little. It's like 133 scale, so it's about this big. Yeah, it's pretty fast. It's like 3 speed settings on it. And I don't know if you may have played with this in the past, you might not have, but RC cars, your throttle's on the left and your steering's on the right. Now this, you're doing your left and your right, so you've got up and down on your left, but you've also got your and you've got forward and back on, so everything feels a bit reversed. It's very strange. So yeah, although I flew it for about 2 minutes, I was scared, but everyone was like, oh, it's really cool. It's only a little one, so we'll play with that to begin with. Anyway, you don't want to hear about that. So on AliExpress, you can get cases, so you can see where I'm going with this now. So I thought, I'll buy that Super Nintendo, buy that US Super Nintendo, that could be my player system. So I've got a nice boxed one. Well, I'd still got the boxed one at this point, by the way. And I'll buy a case, a cool case, and just do a swap out. We'll just swap the case. Now you can actually just swap it like for like. They do the grey case, so if you've got a particular yellowed system or something like that. But I did see this and I thought I really like that, so I bought it, and it is a translucent purple Super Nintendo. Now I have added something to this as well. It comes with basically just the case, So your front panel inside, I was thinking about maybe doing a Sharpie marker on them and turning them black, but I don't know now. You get a choice of the buttons. You can either have those in the standard purple or the translucent, and I just felt that I wanted it all to be, if I was going to go translucent, it needs to be all translucent. Now, it doesn't come with any Nintendo stickers or anything. Now, these I had up in the loft. I bought these when I was doing Game Boy macros. And I actually put one of these on a macro, and I bought a couple of sets of them. And I went onto eBay to look to see if there were any more, and the seller doesn't sell them anymore. He just sells the little Super Famicom sort of symbol on its own now. He doesn't do these, but I hope this comes out. But you can see there the Super Nintendo. It's actually steel. It's like a steel sticker, or it's like a chrome effect sticker, and each individual letter is separate. It comes like stuck to translucent, so you basically peel the back off, you press it on, and then you peel the top off and it leaves them behind. So, and I think that looks really, really nice. I saw that and I thought, yeah, even though it's got no, because that's how it doesn't come with that, and I thought it needs to say Super Nintendo on it. So yeah, that was, hopefully that's coming out on camera and you can see that. And I literally just cut off this symbol here, the Famicom symbol. That was stuck to the side of here, but obviously the American one doesn't have that. But I wanted just a nod, so I cut it off and just put it in this top corner. And I really like how that works. I really like that. I think it looks really cool. And a good friend of mine and yours, J7, Cybersnake 7, has done a similar one in the black translucent, and that looks really nice as well. And I sent Jay a couple of spares of that sticker that I had, because I said to him, look at that, do you like that? He was like, oh yeah, that's really cool, I'll send you some. So yeah, he's got one as well. He's got a black one. Now I've got a standard controller for this, but 8-Bit Do, or 8-Bit Do, whatever you want to say, they do a translucent purple wireless Super Nintendo controller, so I think that's going to go with this. And I've got something else down here as well that I'm going to show you that fits that perfectly. So we'll continue with this story, because it's not that simple. Nothing ever is it? So bear in mind, remember, some moments ago, I told you that I bought that system that was absolutely horrendous on the outside and listed as fully working. Right, well, not so fully working as it transpires. So I don't know if you're like this, but I'm terrible for this. I'll buy something, but I won't test it straight away. I'll leave it because I'm so busy. It may sit there a couple of weeks before I get a chance to test it. So I bought the Super Nintendo. It was 50 quid. So I went to the seller and I said, look, you're not going to sell this. It looks horrible. But I've got a plan for it. I'm gonna put it in another case, but I don't just want to. I'm buying it just for the board, basically. Is it fully working? Guy said, yeah, no problem with it. It's fully working. So I said, will you take 40? No. 45? No. He was just absolutely firm. He wouldn't take it. And looking on eBay, which is probably the only place you're going to find a loose system for any sort of money, anywhere around that money anyway. You're not going to find an American Super Nintendo for 50 quid. You're just not. So I thought, do you know what? I'm going to put it in a case. And that was £26 something delivered, that case. So I'm going to end up with a really nice limited edition looking Super Nintendo that I can use as a player system for, 76 quid. So I thought, yeah, go on, we'll do it. So I hit the bike now and I bought it. So it turned up, I was like, wow, when I saw it. It came with a power supply, no other controls, no other cables, sorry. I bought the controller separately. No video cables or anything like that, it was just a system. So I thought, well, I've got it, that's what I'll do. So I ordered the shell from AliExpress. And it could take a couple of weeks. Some things come even inside a week from China, they're brilliant. But yeah, it took a couple of weeks and that came. And then I thought, and then it was another week. I think it was another week before I got my shit together to think, right, I'll do this case swap now. So just before I did that, I thought I'll just test the system again. No, I'd tell a lie. So it arrived, I plugged it in, I could see that it was working, power light came on, and I slammed a game in it, and it displayed a game, and I thought, yeah, okay, it's working. And then I put it away, I didn't think about it. So this is 3 weeks after I've bought it, right? And you can leave a comment down below you know, if you think I did the right thing or not. Anyway, so I thought, right, I've got time now, I can do the case swap. So I think it was a Friday night like this or something, I got a bit of spare time. And so I plugged it in again. I thought, I'll just plug it in again, make sure it's still working. And I put Super Mario World in it, which is still here, and we're going to talk about these as well in a minute. I told you it'd be a long one. It's still here. Look how minty that box is. There's a reason it's a copy. Yeah, really good copies. Anyway, there's a couple of games still there that I bought loose cart that I put into these reproduction boxes. So I put Super Mario World in it, and I switched it on, and I thought, it looks a bit odd. You know, when you first power it on and the Nintendo logo comes up, the screen was blue. The back of the screen was blue. It should be black. And I thought, that doesn't look right. And then when the game started, all the graphics had kind of like a silver halo around them, like a shimmering like colour to them. And I'm thinking, this looks like a cap problem. You know, I think some caps are going on here. So the system isn't actually working. No, it's not fully working. There's a problem with it. And I was a bit gutted because I'd ordered the case, so that's on its way. And I just thought to myself, well, do I bite the bullet on this or not? But again, there's no other systems. There's no other systems available at that cost. So I thought, well, I'll just send this back because it's not right. And when the case comes, I'll just store it for future if I do come across a loose one that's really badly yellowed or whatever. And again, that's fully working though, and I can do the swap. So bear in mind, it's like 3 weeks that I've had it now. So went back to the seller, basically opened the case to return it, and saying that it wasn't working right. Anyway, that night, fucking hell did this guy unleash hell on me. So, worst eBay sale ever. I've been on eBay since the early 2000s, and this was horrendous. So the guy basically called me a liar, he called me a scammer, all the names under the sun, really got aggressive super fast. This is bullshit, you've broken it, you know, and really laid into me right from the off. So I go into defensive mode, but trying to, you know, when you're in an argument like this, you need to keep your temper and be in the right, Because eBay's just gonna, you know, they'll not weigh in and help you out with any of that bollocks. So I basically went back to him and said, calm down, right? For one, you need to calm down. And two, I'm not a chancer, I'm not a scammer. You know, I've been buying this stuff for years. I know what I'm looking at. I understand that, yeah, I've had it for a week and I get what you're saying, but I've not used it in that time. I've not had time to test it properly. You know, but you might not know, because none of his other listings looked like he knew anything about retro at all. He was just a buyer and seller, I think. So I said, you might not know, you know, looking at this, that there's an issue with it. I think the capacitors are going. You know, there's a problem on the video signal side of it. And I showed it, I did some screen grabs and all the rest of it. But he would not hear it. He just kept coming back saying, you've broken it, yeah, you've used it, and now the caps are gone and you're trying to send it back to me. If you try and send it back, this is going to come straight back to you. He even threatened me. He said that he knew people up this way that he could send round and all that. Oh yeah, he went proper on. So, and this was a Friday night as well, and I'd had a few Krakens. So I thought, yeah, all right, then let's have it. So he basically said, called me a coward and all sorts of stuff. So I said, just send me a number. Send me a number and we'll have a talk about it. Yeah, but you're this and just send me a number. Oh, blah, blah, you this, you that. Send me a number. So he sent me his number, so I rang him straight back. And, you know, having spoke to other people about this, maybe I shouldn't have done it. Maybe I should have just sent it back and eBay would have just refunded my money and all the rest of it. But I just thought, oh, fuck you. You know, it really went for me. And I'm not having that shit. I'm not having that shit. I'm a very affable guy, and I'll let anyone burn me twice. But this guy really went in, and I just thought, no, you're a fucking bully. I'm not having this. So I rang him up, and he answered the phone. And the first thing I said was, worst eBay seller ever. Right. And then he went into me like you wouldn't believe. Like, and bear in mind, this was £50. Right. it went in on me like it was the end of the world, and I was such an horrible bastard, and he was sick of being treated like a twat, and really fruity language. Anyway, we were shouting at each other down the phone, and I basically just hung up. I just said, do you know what? I said, I'm not held to 50 quid, obviously you are. Enjoy your feedback, and hung up. So I went straight to eBay, left him negative feedback. Now, having talked to people, that's not necessarily the right thing to do, because eBay will see, although we were both quite amicable in the comments to each other, once it went sour, eBay tend to frown on, if you want to send something back and then leave negative feedback, they kind of frown on that. It's seen as you're trying to, you're the one trying to take the piss. And at that point I just thought, you know what, I'm going to fucking chuck it in bin and just carry on with my life. I just really ain't got time for this shit. Cut jump. Oh, Kraken and Coke. The bomb. And the scourge of fucking modern gaming. I think we can all agree. So we've just stuck Klonoa in, and now it wants to do a 7-minute fucking update bollocks thing. I don't know. Anyway, we'll leave it doing that, because I might have a quick blast on that later. So we were talking about this, weren't we? And we were talking about the bell end that that sold it me. So yeah, basically, the next day I kind of left it at that. I hung up on him, and then he rang back, and I was like, what? Just fuck off, leave me alone. I'm gonna send somebody round. Fucking send him round, mate. Send him round. He was chatting shit. He's from Wales. So I was like, send him round. I've got a baseball bat, whatever. Just fuck off. Anyway, yeah, I've never had a deal like that ever. Like I say, the person was absolutely horrendous. I went back to his feedback, and I should have looked at that before buying from him, because Jesus Christ, everybody, there must have been 5 negative feedback saying this guy's a psycho, stay away from him, get super aggressive straight away. Well, he accused some lad, this guy bought a PSP and it was water damaged and didn't work, and when he went back to him, he accused him of dropping it in water and as a scammer. This guy calls everybody else a scammer. There was that, and then somebody else had said, yeah, he'd bought something and it weren't right, and when he complained, he went super aggressive and all this. So hopefully I left negative feedback. Now the next day, he got eBay to remove my comment. I basically put the same sort of thing. Now he'd got eBay to remove that comment, but he could not remove my feedback. So he sent me a text message. This is all off eBay now, we're to-ing and fro-ing, saying that I'd spoke to him like shit, he wants an apology, or else, and basically, I'm the one in the wrong here, blah 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 blah. So basically, like, just ignoring him at that point. Just thought, fuck you, I'm not even gonna entertain this guy. He's an absolute fucking bellend. So I just left it, and they didn't take away the negative feedback, so that's still on there, and nothing's happened. Still here I am, ugly as ever. But what a bellend. No. Anyone that shouts and bawls ain't gonna hit you. It's the quiet one that just steps forward. He's gonna slot you. Anyone playing the big, I am, he ain't gonna hit you. Anyway, so this guy's like still out there, unfortunately, playing his trade. So at that point, I writ it off, and I thought I'd just chuck it in a drawer and forget the idea. This shell turned up, and I thought worst case, I'll send it to Retro Repair Bear and get those guys to look at the cap set, or I may even have a go, because I'm not too bad with the soldering. I may even have a look at it, see if there's some bad caps, and buy a cap set, for a few quid. And because I'm in it to 50 quid, so I might as well spend a few quid and get it working. You know what I mean? Or just chucking it in bin at that point. So anyway, in a drawer it stayed for another month or two. So this is going back quite a while now. And yeah, there it stayed. So I thought to myself, when the case came, I thought it's a shame, because I really like that case. It's nice. So the other week I thought, do you know what? I'll look at the board. I'll look at the board and see, because the outside was horrendous, so maybe the inside's just as bad. Now when I took it apart, it had been modded for RF. So now I'm thinking, great, so that means if I take away the RF modification, obviously with it being an NTSC US model, I think, and you can still see the RF modulator in there, but it's all disconnected now. I didn't want to leave a hole in the back, so I wanted for it to still be whole. And I looked at that. There was some wiring underneath on the board, on the bottom of the board. There was an extra bit that had been hot glued on the side. And I'm thinking, well, it's been modded. It's been modded when it very first came into the country, more than likely, just like some Japanese Mega Drives or other Japanese consoles are. Back in the day, we didn't have SCART, so they put RF modulators in them and modified them so we could play them through our aerials on the tellies. So I'm thinking, I wonder if that's what it is, and hopefully it will be. So I basically just desoldered all the dodgy wiring that had been put on it and disconnected the RF modulator, plugged it in. It is superb. So yeah, it does actually work, but in my defense, he didn't fucking know anything about it, and it wasn't fully working. Technically it is, but I've had to work on it to get it to work. So I now have what I set out to do. After all that fucking long-winded ramble and, you know, all that stress and grief, and now I've eventually have what I wanted, which is a player system. It cost me like just under 80 quid, and it's in a really nice case, and yeah, Yabu sucks to him. But at that point, so this leads me on to the last thing I'm going to show you. I'm going to go away because you've been here far too long, and thanks for watching this far. I bought a couple of loose cartridges. I didn't want to get into buying the box games. Unfortunately I did, so I bought a loose cartridge just basically for testing and thinking, yeah, I'm going to play this anyway, and I bought Super Mario World. So this is a loose cartridge, but I found this guy, and if anyone wants to do this, I mean, I know the purists will go, no, that's horrible, but it's obviously a fake on the inside, so the colour of the cardboard is no good on the inside. But the print on this, I bought from 3 different sellers, 2 off eBay and this guy off Etsy. These boxes are too good. They're really, really good. The print is really nice and clear. The cardboard is the correct thickness. But when you open it up, it's white on the inside. Now, if that guy used the grey card that a lot of the boxes are done on, this would be a dangerous thing. So they're 13 quid, including the manual. So I mean, it's even got the little print on the tab. I mean, you were to see that somewhere, if you didn't know, you'd be sucked in by that. And I know that a lot of you are going to say, well, that's a bad thing. Look at the manual. So for 13 quid, box tray, which isn't the correct one, but I've bought some trays. I bought some replacement trays and manual, and it's full colour. You know, it is the manual, you know, and the thickness of it is just right as well. That manual, I would probably be able to sell that manual as a mint manual, and you wouldn't tell. It looks identical, which I know will sit. If you're buying loose cartridges for an extra 13 quid, you can, if you want it on the shelf in a box protector, you can have that. Then it'll look like a mint version of the game. And I know that there are other cases you can buy that are like a clamshell that you can put your loose cart into, but you can get a manual and a box that looks proper legit, you know, for 13 quid. So that's what I did. I thought I'll buy a box for it, you know. I don't intend to sell that, and I wouldn't anyway. And if I did, I would put on. In fact, I did. I'm telling you a lie. I did have these listed for a time because I've got another one here that's a big hitter. But once I got that, and I was buying. I'd got Super Ghouls and Ghosts. I'd got Contra. I'd got Cybernator, and they were all genuine games that I paid a lot of money for, you know, 100 quid, just under 100 quid for nice games with manuals. And I looked at that and I thought, that cartridge cost me 15 quid. and the box and manual was 13 quid. I was like, if it's just to sit on the shelf and look at it and enjoy it, it's a no-brainer. So the next one I got was Batman Returns. Now this one, because it's a picture, I mean, I would argue that it's still a really, really, really good copy. Again, you're going to be going, it's a copy. It'll get into the system and, well, you know, people will be sucked in by it. It's going to stay here now, so, you know, if I get rid of these, I'll give them away. How's about that? So, Batman Returns, but again, I bought the loose cart, and the loose cart is actually damaged. So, this loose cart was 25 quid. It goes for a lot of money, this game. And it's literally just got a little ding, just there, like a little crack in the case. I bought it, as I say, just loose like that to play the game because it's a really, really underrated beat 'em up. Hey, and Klonoa's fired up finally. I'll agree with that. I'm going to agree. I'll agree with that as well. I'm going to agree. I'll just agree. Can't you just say agree to all? Hey, let's put Daughter Phantom Isle on. Love Klonoa, it's a brilliant game. Here he is, look. Is he a rabbit? Is he not? Check system data, do not turn off your play. Oh, yay! And because they're PlayStation games, they don't look bad on a modern screen, and they'll upscale, you know, and not look shitty. I'm waiting. I mean, tell me if I'm wrong. Dude, is there a Ridge Racer collection for PS4? If they're in, they need to get on that shit. Anyway, so yeah, this has got a little ding in it. So it was 20 quid, I think 20 or 25 quid delivered. So I thought I'll get that because it's a good game. And then once I got the Mario World box, I thought, you know what, I'll order a box and a manual for it as well for 13 quid. So again, the manual is really convincing. It's never seen a thumb. Look at that. Look at that. Because it's fake. But yeah, and it's all there. It's exactly as you. That's exactly. You could sell them on their own, really, as you know, if you're unscrupulous, and there will be people that would spot the fact that it's not real. But Jesus, if that was in like a pile of like manuals, like if you'd be sucked in. But again, yellow card, white card on the inside, and I think that's why it's getting a better print, because on some that I've bought, I bought an Axelay one, and the print doesn't look that great on the Axelay one, and it's grey card. So I'm thinking he's getting a better picture, he's getting a better image because he's using white cardboard. The thickness is spot on and everything, but it's white on the inside, so it's obviously fake. But as I say, once it's in there, and it's in that fucking box protector, and it's on your shelf, boom, mint copy. Anyway, no brainer. So I thought, are we going to go down that route? Are we going to go down the route of loose carts? And I'm just thinking, I don't need the physical game. I don't need. If I'm really in love with the artwork, I'll have a canvas made of it or something. If I want it on the wall to look at. I just want to play the game, you know. I can do that here. I don't need the actual physical cartridge to do it. But I have to say that I think, having plugged this Super Nintendo in, now I've got it working, the picture is slightly more vibrant. It is a better image running through the original system than this emulation through the Wii. You'd have to have them running side by side or swap them over, you know, very close to see that. But I mean, if you just had that and you didn't have anything else to test it at the side of, you'd think that was fantastic. You'd think it was spot on, and it's identical. And it's the ROM, so it is. But the way that it delivers it through the Wii, through the emulation to that CRT, because I've got some Japanese games in here as well. If I can just open that down, can I open that? Am I gonna? No, I can't get into it. So I've got Super Ghouls and Ghosts, and what else have I got in there? A couple of other Japanese games. And again, through this system, because the American one will play Japanese games. And actually, these cases, just as a tangent, they don't have the little tab inside, so you can plug a Japanese game straight into these cases without modifying it. On the standard one, there's a couple of little tabs, little lugs that you have to trim off, so you can put your Japanese cartridge into it. But that doesn't have it, that case, so it will play Japanese carts as it is. Again, they pop a little bit better. You know, the picture just looks a little bit better, and I'm thinking, original system, which is not expensive. I've got that now, so I've got the original system, but I still want to play all the games on it without buying them. So, back to AliExpress. I told you it was going to be a long one. And here we have an EverDrive in translucent purple. Yay! And a couple of stickers on it. I'll probably go with this one, which is the darker one. Super EverDrive. And this was, how much was this? 14 quid or something? For all the games. It's a fucking no-brainer. Comes with a manual as well, but you know, AliExpress, fucking all day, every day. So yeah, a translucent purple cartridge with all the games on it, all the region as well. Look at that, it's a perfect match. And with the 8BitDo translucent purple controller, what a combo. Come on, look at that. What a fucking combo. I've even got another one of these Super Nintendo stickers that I might put there as well, so it'll just, when it's in the corner unit that I'm going to have over here. Yeah. So, there you go, guys. That's where we're at. As I say, I'm at the end of the collecting journey, is basically where I'm at, I think. Now, as I say, you guys fill your boots. It's a great thing to do if it's not hurting you or your bank balance or your family or your mental health. Crack on. But and it has been a great thing. I've really enjoyed doing it. I feel now that I'm full circle and I'm back to gaming, whereas I got sucked into collecting and that stops you gaming, or it can do. So yeah, I'm now, you know, my bank balance is a lot healthier and I feel a lot healthier mentally. I feel a lot stronger. I feel like I can keep on top of it. Unfortunately, there isn't a translucent shell for a Mega Drive. You can get for Saturns. So I'll probably just get a loose Japanese system, looking for a good deal. I want to pay about 50 quid. They're generally about 75, 85 quid from Japan. And then I'll get an EverDrive in that, and yeah, we'll have that set up over here. So I intend to have over here 16-bit, and then anything else I might want to throw into it. As I say, I have still got one OG Xbox, which is here, that's not modified. I've taken them all back. I bought a disc that takes them all back to standard. Now I'm going to go through my Xbox collection because I'm only going to keep, I think, it depends how much room I've got over here, but because I'm going to put the 360, the JTAG 360 over here as well, especially if I'm going to have the LCD that I can revolve around for the verticals, because it's all vertical shooters in that. I'm going to go through my OG library and look at what's compatible. I believe that most things got patched and most things will play. It may be that all the OG Xbox games I've got will play on as 360. If that's the case, if that'll happen, then I'll not have to have two systems hooked up. Will I, Eddie Bongle? Hello, look at the people. Say hello. Hello, people. I'm Eddie. I'm the new man in town. And if you notice, when I pick him up, he doesn't go, eh, like TC used to do. You don't mind? Yeah. He's now sniffing at the bottom of the thing, so the tripod, so you're probably going to get lots of rumblage. But yeah, in a nutshell, that's where we're at, guys. Thank you for sticking with me. Thank you. Stop it. Thank you for, you know, sticking to the end. If you made it to the end of this, I'll send you a fucking t-shirt. Just leave a comment below and say Wangleberries, and I'll sort you out. But yeah, thanks for that, guys. Oh, he's climbing behind things now. It's a real test. But that's where we are, and I'll update you moving forward. You know, I do intend to do the vertical little 3/4 Astro City thing. That'll be a nice project for me. I don't think that's going to be until the spring, summertime though, because it's freezing still outside. But I do have the decals now, so I can start getting the plywood and starting putting that together. Now that sounds shy, but yeah, done right, it looks pretty convincing. It's good. And you know, who knows when I might upload, or I might just delete all this tomorrow. I did upload those older videos just before Christmas because I wanted a channel where I could interact with the lads from, you know. And at that point I wasn't intending to come back at all, and I still haven't. I've just decided to do this on a whim. So, you know, I'll stay around, I'll kick around, and you know, look after these pests. Can't see him now, I don't think this is off camera, but yeah, we'll keep playing, and we'll keep you informed. You'll see me in the comments. I'll be hanging around. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and we'll catch you in the next one if there is one. Bye now.